Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your daily dose of English, where learning English is easy, practical, and super fun. I'm Tom.
And I'm Sarah. Hey Tom, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Sarah. Really excited about today's topic. How about you?
I'm feeling great. And yes, I'm super excited too because we're talking about something that makes so many people nervous, but is actually really important in life.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. We're diving into the world of meeting someone for the first time, right?
Exactly. First impressions, introductions, breaking the ice, finding common ground, all of that good stuff. And before we jump in, we have a quick favour to ask all of you amazing listeners out there.
That's right. If you enjoy our podcast and you're finding it helpful for your English learning journey, please take just a moment to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us keep creating content for you.
And don't forget to give this episode a thumbs up and share it with your friends, your family, anyone who's learning English. We would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Your support means the world to us. Okay, Sarah, so let's talk about this. Meeting someone for the first time. Why does this make people so nervous?
Oh, Tom, that's such a good question. I think it's because we all want to make a good first impression, right? We want people to like us. We want to seem interesting, friendly, confident. But sometimes our brain just goes blank and we don't know what to say.
Yes, I completely understand that feeling. You know what's funny? Even native speakers get nervous about this. It's not just an English learner thing. Meeting new people can be awkward for everyone.
That's so true. And you know what else? A lot of English learners worry about making grammar mistakes or not finding the right words, so they become extra nervous.
Right. But here's the thing we want everyone to understand. When you meet someone for the first time, they're not judging your grammar. They're not counting your mistakes. They just want to have a nice, friendly conversation.
Exactly. People care more about your energy, your smile, your friendliness, than whether you use the past perfect tense correctly. So today, we're going to give you all the tools you need to feel confident when meeting new people in English.
Yes, and we're going to break it down step by step. We'll talk about how to introduce yourself, how to start a conversation with someone you don't know, how to keep that conversation going, and how to find things in common so the conversation feels natural and easy.
Perfect. So let's start at the very beginning. Tom, when you meet someone for the first time, what's the first thing you should do?
The first thing is the greeting. It sounds simple, but it's actually super important. A good greeting sets the tone for the whole conversation. Now, the most common and safe greeting in English is hello or hi.
Right, and you can add, nice to meet you, right after. For example, if someone introduces themselves and says, hi, I'm Michael, you can respond with, hi, Michael, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you.
Perfect example. Nice to meet you is probably the most useful phrase for first meetings. It's polite, it's friendly, and it's appropriate in almost any situation, whether you're meeting someone at a party, at work, at school, anywhere.
And here's a little tip. When you say, nice to meet you, try to smile and make eye contact. It makes you seem warm and approachable. Remember, communication isn't just about words. Your body language matters too.
That's such an important point, Sarah. If you say nice to meet you, but you're looking at the floor or you have your arms crossed, it doesn't feel genuine. But if you smile and look at the person, suddenly you seem confident and friendly.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered the basic greeting. But Tom, what if you're in a more casual situation? Like, what if you're at a coffee shop or a party with friends? Can you still say, "Nice to meet you," or is that too formal?
Good question. Nice to meet you works in casual situations too, but if you want to sound more relaxed and informal, you can say things like, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "Hi there," or even just "Hey" with a friendly wave.
I love "How's it going?" That's one of my favourites because it's friendly, and it also gives the other person a chance to respond. They might say, "I'm good. How about you?" And boom, you've already started a conversation.
Yes. And that brings us to the next important skill, introducing yourself. After the initial greeting, you need to tell the person your name. The simplest way is just to say, "I'm," followed by your name. For example, "I'm Tom," or "My name is Tom."
Both are great. "I'm Sarah" is more casual and common in everyday conversation. "My name is Sarah" is a tiny bit more formal, but still perfectly fine. You can use either one depending on how you feel.
Right. And here's a pro tip. After you say your name, you can add a little bit more information to keep the conversation going. For example, "I'm Tom. I work with Jessica," or "I'm Tom. I'm a friend of the host."
Oh, that's so smart. It gives context. It helps the other person understand how you're connected to the situation, and it also gives them something to respond to. They might say, "Oh, you work with Jessica? How long have you known her?"
Exactly. You're opening doors for conversation. Now, after you introduce yourself, it's polite to ask the other person their name if they haven't said it yet. You can simply ask, "And you are?" or "What's your name?"
Or you can be even more casual and say, "And what do I call you?" Or, "Sorry, I didn't catch your name." These are all natural, friendly ways to ask for someone's name.
Perfect. Okay, so let's imagine we've done the greeting and the introductions. Now comes the tricky part, keeping the conversation going. This is where a lot of people freeze up. They think, "What do I say next?" Sarah, what's your advice for this?
This is where icebreakers come in. An icebreaker is basically a question or comment that helps you start a real conversation. It breaks the awkward silence. It breaks the ice, right?
I love that phrase. Breaking the ice. It's such a perfect description. You're melting away that uncomfortable, frozen feeling at the beginning of a conversation.
Exactly. So, here are some classic icebreakers that work in almost any situation. First, you can comment on the environment. For example, if you're at a party, you can say, "This is a really nice place, isn't it?" Or, "The music is great."
Yes, commenting on your surroundings is safe and easy. You can also comment on the food if you're at a dinner or event. "This food is delicious. Have you tried the desserts yet?"
Another great icebreaker is to ask how the person is connected to the situation. For example, "So, how do you know the host?" Or, "Are you here for work or just visiting?" These questions are open-ended, which means the other person can give you a longer, more interesting answer.
Open-ended questions are gold when you're meeting someone new. Instead of asking questions that have yes or no answers, you ask questions that require explanation. For example, instead of "Do you like this city?" you can ask, "What do you think of this city?"
That's a great example. "What do you think?" is much better than "do you like?" because it invites the person to share their opinion, their feelings, their experiences, and that leads to a real conversation.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about finding common ground. This is the secret to making a conversation flow naturally. When you find something you both have in common, suddenly the conversation becomes easy and fun.
Yes, common ground means shared interests, shared experiences, or shared connections. It's like discovering, oh, we both love the same thing, or oh, we've both been to the same place. It creates an instant bond.
So how do you find common ground? Well, you need to ask questions and share a little bit about yourself. For example, you might ask, so what do you do for work? Or, what do you like to do in your free time?
Those are great conversation starters. And here's the important part. When they answer, listen carefully. If they say something that connects to your life, mention it. For example, if they say, I love hiking, and you also love hiking, you can say, oh, really? Me too. Where's your favourite place to hike?
Perfect. You've just found common ground and now you can have a whole conversation about hiking. You can share your favourite trails, talk about memorable experiences, recommend places to each other. The conversation practically runs itself.
And what if you don't have that specific interest in common? That's okay too. You can still show interest and ask questions. If someone says they love painting and you know nothing about painting, you could say, that's so cool. I've always wanted to try painting. How did you get into it?
Exactly. Showing genuine curiosity is just as good as having something in common. People love talking about their interests and they appreciate when someone takes an interest in what they care about.
So true. Now, let's talk about some specific topics that work well for first conversations. Tom, what are some safe, universal topics that almost anyone can talk about?
Great question. Safe topics for first meetings include things like travel, food, movies or TV shows, hobbies, work and where you're from. These topics are interesting but not too personal or controversial.
Yes, those are perfect. For example, asking, have you travelled anywhere interesting recently? Is a great question because most people enjoy talking about travel. Even if they haven't travelled recently, they can talk about places they'd like to visit.
Right. And food is another universal topic. You can ask, what kind of food do you like? Or, have you tried any good restaurants around here? Everyone eats, so everyone can participate in this conversation.
Movies and TV shows are great too. You can ask, have you watched anything good lately? Or, are you watching any series right now? And if you've both seen the same show, you can talk about that for ages.
Absolutely. Now, while we're on this topic, let's also talk about what not to talk about when you're meeting someone for the first time. There are some topics that are generally too personal or too sensitive for a first conversation.
Yes, this is important. Generally, you want to avoid topics like politics, religion, money, health problems, or anything too personal like relationships or family problems. These topics can make people uncomfortable when they don't know you well yet.
Exactly. Keep it light, keep it positive, keep it friendly. There's plenty of time to go deeper once you know the person better. For now, you're just trying to have a pleasant, easy conversation and make a good impression.
That's such good advice. Okay, so let's talk about some useful phrases that can help keep a conversation flowing smoothly. Tom, what are some phrases you use a lot when meeting new people?
Oh, I have some favourites. When someone tells me something interesting, I like to say things like, that's really interesting. Or, that sounds amazing. Or, wow, I didn't know that. These phrases show that you're engaged and paying attention.
Those are great. I also love using "tell me more about that" when someone mentions something interesting. It encourages them to keep talking and shows that you're genuinely interested.
Perfect phrase. Another useful one is, how did you get into that? This works when someone mentions a hobby or a career. It invites them to tell their story, and people love sharing their stories.
Yes, and when you want to relate to what someone is saying, you can use phrases like, "I know what you mean," or "I can totally relate to that," or "same here." These phrases build connection.
Absolutely. Now, what about when the conversation hits a pause or an awkward silence? Don't panic. Silence happens and it's normal. You can use this as a moment to transition to a new topic.
Right. You can use transitional phrases like, "By the way, I wanted to ask you," or "Oh, that reminds me," or "Speaking of which." These phrases help you smoothly move from one topic to another.
Great examples. And here's another tip. If you really can't think of anything to say, it's okay to make a light, friendly comment about the situation. Something like, "It's getting a bit crowded here, isn't it?" Or, "I'm so glad I came to this event."
Yes, those kinds of comments can be little conversation restarts. They give the other person something to respond to. Now, Tom, let's talk about body language again, because it's so important and often overlooked.
You're absolutely right. Your body language can say just as much as your words, sometimes even more. When you're meeting someone for the first time, you want your body language to say, "I'm friendly, I'm open, I'm interested in talking to you."
Exactly. So what does good body language look like? First, face the person you're talking to. Don't stand sideways or look away. Turn your body toward them to show you're engaged.
Yes, and maintain eye contact. Not in a creepy staring way, just natural eye contact. Look at them when they're talking and when you're talking. It shows respect and interest.
Right. And smile. A genuine smile makes you seem warm and approachable. Even if you're nervous, a smile can help you and the other person feel more relaxed.
And pay attention to your posture. Stand up straight. Keep your arms relaxed and open, not crossed. Crossed arms can make you seem closed off or defensive, even if you don't mean it that way.
That's such a good point. Your arms should be in a natural, relaxed position. And use your hands when you talk. Natural gestures make you seem more expressive and engaging.
Absolutely. And here's something many people don't think about: the distance between you and the other person. You want to stand close enough to have a conversation, but not so close that you're in their personal space.
Yes, personal space is important. In most English-speaking cultures, a comfortable conversation distance is about an arm's length away. Close enough to hear each other, but not too close to feel uncomfortable.
Perfect guideline. Now let's talk about ending the conversation. This is another area where people sometimes struggle. How do you politely end a conversation when you need to leave or move on?
Great question. First of all, it's totally okay to end a conversation. You don't have to talk to one person all night. The polite way to do it is to give a reason and express that you enjoyed talking to them.
Yes, you can say something like, "It was really nice meeting you, but I should go say hello to a few other people." Or, "I've really enjoyed talking to you, but I need to get going soon."
Those are perfect. You're being honest, you're being polite, and you're acknowledging that the conversation was pleasant. Another good phrase is, "Let's catch up again soon." if you genuinely want to talk to them again.
And if you want to stay connected with a person, this is the time to exchange contact information. You can say, hey, we should stay in touch. Do you want to exchange numbers? Or can I add you on social media?
Yes. And if someone asks for your contact information, but you don't want to share it, that's okay too. You can politely say something like, I'm not on social media much, but it was lovely meeting you, or just give them a professional contact, like email instead of your phone number.
Good point. Always feel comfortable setting boundaries. Now, before we wrap up, let's do a quick role play to demonstrate everything we've talked about. Sarah, imagine we're meeting for the first time at a friend's party. I'll start.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Hi there. I don't think we've met yet. I'm Tom. I'm a friend of Kevin's.
Oh, hi, Tom. Nice to meet you. I'm Sarah. I work with Kevin at the marketing company. How do you know Kevin?
Nice to meet you too, Sarah. Kevin and I went to college together. We've been friends for years. So you work in marketing? That sounds interesting. What kind of projects do you work on?
Oh, mostly digital marketing campaigns for small businesses. It's pretty fun, actually. I get to be creative with social media content and advertising. How about you? What do you do?
I'm a teacher. I teach English to international students. So I guess we both work with communication in different ways.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. I've always admired teachers. It must be rewarding to help people learn a new language. What's your favourite part about teaching?
Honestly, I love seeing that moment when a concept clicks for a student, when they suddenly understand something they've been struggling with. That's the best feeling. Do you enjoy the creative side of your work?
I really do. I love brainstorming new ideas and seeing them come to life. Hey, this party is getting pretty crowded. Have you tried the food yet? I heard the host is an amazing cook.
Not yet, but I was just thinking about grabbing something. Want to check out the food table together?
Sure, sounds good. Let's go.
Okay, and scene. See how natural that felt. We did introductions, found common ground, asked open-ended questions, and smoothly transitioned topics.
Exactly. And we ended with a suggestion to do something together, which is a great way to continue building that connection. That conversation had all the elements we talked about.
It did. And notice we didn't use complicated vocabulary or perfect grammar. We just had a friendly, natural conversation. That's what meeting someone for the first time should feel like.
Absolutely. And you know what? For our listeners, the more you practice these conversations, the easier they become. It's just like learning any new skill. At first, it feels awkward, but with practice, it becomes second nature.
So true. And here's my final piece of advice for everyone listening. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Every conversation doesn't have to be perfect or amazing. Sometimes you'll meet someone and you'll instantly click. Other times, the conversation will be fine but not super exciting. And that's completely normal.
Yes! The goal isn't to become best friends with everyone you meet. The goal is just to have a pleasant, polite interaction and make a decent first impression. Some people you'll connect with, others you won't, and that's life.
Exactly. And remember, mistakes are okay. If you forget someone's name, just politely ask again. If you can't think of the right word, it's fine to pause and find it. Native speakers do this too. Real conversations aren't like textbooks. They're messy and imperfect and human.
That's such an important reminder. So let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today, Tom.
Great idea. So first we talked about greetings and introductions. Remember to say hello, introduce yourself clearly, and use nice to meet you to start things off on a friendly note.
Then we discussed icebreakers, those conversation starters that help you move past the awkward beginning. Comment on your environment, ask open-ended questions, and find common ground.
We covered safe topics for first conversations like travel, food, hobbies, and entertainment. And we warned you about topics to avoid like politics, religion, and anything too personal.
We talked about useful phrases to keep conversations flowing, like, tell me more about that, and that's really interesting, and how did you get into that?
And we discussed the importance of body language, making eye contact, smiling, facing the person, and respecting personal space.
Finally, we covered how to politely end a conversation and exchange contact information if you want to stay in touch. And we did a role play to show you how it all comes together in a real conversation.
Wow, we covered a lot today. Sarah, I hope our listeners feel more confident now about meeting new people in English.
Me too. And remember, everyone, confidence comes from practice. So go out there and start conversations. Talk to people in coffee shops, at events, in class, wherever you are. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Absolutely. Every conversation is a chance to improve your English and maybe even make a new friend. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for today's episode. This was such a fun and useful conversation.
It really was. And to all of you listening, thank you so much for being part of your daily dose of English. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn with us today.
Yes, thank you. And please, if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. We create new content every week to help you improve your English.
And hit that like button. It really helps us reach more English learners like you. Plus, share this episode with your friends who are learning English. Learning is more fun when you do it together.
Absolutely. And we want to hear from you. Go to the comments section right now and tell us, what's the most difficult part about meeting new people in English? Is it starting the conversation, finding topics to talk about, or something else?
Yes, please leave a comment. We read every single one, and we love hearing about your experiences and challenges. Your feedback helps us create better content for you.
And here's a fun challenge for you. The next time you meet someone new, try using at least 3 phrases we talked about today. Then come back and tell us how it went. We want to celebrate your wins with you.
I love that challenge. Okay, everyone. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep being brave enough to start conversations. You've got this.
Yes, you absolutely do. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.